My name is Tim Flood. I'm a professor in the MBA program at UNC Keenan Flagler Business School at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm super excited to walk you through this case competition video, and I just wanted to give two shout outs to start. First, to the UNC Healthcare Club for their help with the content, and secondly, to TriadStudios.co for their help in making this video so awesome. Here we go. We've divided this video into different sections to highlight information for judges, information for students, and some additional resource reminders. We think you'll find this entire video valuable, but please feel free to focus your time as makes the most sense to you. Case competitions depend on balancing two opposing forces: providing enough material for students to research, frame, and support their recommendations, while leaving enough ambiguity in the details so that students must work to find and support their conclusions. Case competitions function exactly as that name implies. The word case comes from the competition's origins at law schools, as in arguing a case before a judge, and now refers to the written situation, context, or range of information that outlines the core conflict, argument, or engagement of the particular competition. Case write-ups, which outline the essential context of the case, can vary widely in terms of length. Length can be between a few and several pages. The focus level. Focus levels can be specific to one discipline or industry, or interdisciplinary, so that students from several disciplines can come together to collaborate on solutions. The depth of detail in supporting information, this additional information, is often provided in appendices or lists of accessible resources and databases. And connection to real life. All case write-ups must present realistic situations and information, and many instances find their bases in real-world transactions or interactions. Some cases even involve direct partnerships between colleges and corporations or other off-campus entities. But even fictional cases must tie back to facts and figures, objective data through which students will find their way. The actual competition can also vary widely in terms of preparation time, because depending on the competition, students may have only a few hours between the time they first access the case write-up and the time they must present their recommendations, to a few days or even a few weeks. Scope. Many case competitions are specific to one discipline or industry, while some bring together students across several disciplines or industries. Output. The deliverables, or end products, of the student's work also can vary, but almost always include a presentation of recommendations in front of a panel of judges, often involving question and answer time, and some artifact of the team's work, such as a slide deck, white paper, or marketing plan. Judging criteria also vary. Most case competitions will offer clear target criteria to guide students' thinking. These targets might vary by discipline and the overall purpose of the competition. And prizes. Students definitely derive value from the real-world, hands-on experience that case competitions provide, for sure. And winners' bragging rights fit well on resumes or in interviews. The networking opportunities are often very high, but monetary prizes vary greatly according to the sponsor's coffers, the presence of corporate sponsors, or the tradition and reputation of the competition. In nearly every instance, case competitions foster situations in which students can exercise the kinds of critical thinking, research, analysis, and presentation skills that are difficult to incorporate into typical classroom routines, all under some realistic pressures of time, team, and work product. Again, the best cases provide sufficient data for students to begin their research and frame their arguments, but the case should not point to a single or obvious solution, allowing instead for enough ambiguity to allow students to use their own judgment and to make and support their own recommendations. First, thank you very much for your willingness to extend students' learning opportunities by offering your time and expertise to judge a case competition. You'll rarely receive compensation, but rest assured that these competitions' impact on students' learning and success and your contributions to that learning and success are invaluable. Next, let me hit you with what, after participating in countless case competitions as a judge, strikes me as the most important contextual point I can offer you. The case competition organizers asked you to participate as a judge because of your expertise in academics, industry, or some other related field. However, the students participating in the competition do not have anywhere near your level of expertise. The students definitely aspire to your level of expertise, certainly, and they should be held to high standards. But see and judge the participants as high-performing students rather than as your peers. The connections that you will make, the rabbit holes that you will see to explore, and the depth and breadth of knowledge that you have are testaments to your years of experience. But these years of experience are years the students don't necessarily have yet. Every case competition should set high performance expectations, and the challenge to win the competition should be significant, without exception. I urge you, though, to see the competition as a learning experience for the students, from start to finish, and to balance your expectations and observations with where the students are coming from, the processes they've been through, and a sense of what skills and sensibilities serve the students best on their paths ahead. The rules, parameters, standards, and focus areas will also vary by competition. The case competition organizers should provide you with the case write-up, all materials that the students see, as well as judging criteria and any competition-specific instructions or expectations. Please take all the time you can spare to review any materials the case competition organizers provide, and be sure to ask any questions you have as far in advance as possible to ensure fair, equitable, and timely responses. The specific rules and judgment criteria will vary from competition to competition, but you can safely assume that all competitions, across nearly all disciplines or functional areas, will involve considerations of 5 key factors. The research the students conduct in the time allowed, the analysis students do on data points collected from that research or from the case write-up, supporting evidence to support the points students provide or demonstrate across all aspects of their deliverables in support of their recommendation, the teamwork and professionalism students demonstrate throughout the process, and the grace under pressure that students demonstrate throughout the process during the presentation and in the face of rigorous but reasonable Q&A. Note that any recommendation made by students must be reasonable and realistic, but that many competitions reward boldness and innovative thinking, as long as the team can fully support their recommendation, over teams that go with easy or obvious solutions. Also remember to bring a pen and a pad of paper with you to the competition. Your tasks might fall to laptops, checklists, or other rubrics, but you'll be surprised how often paper and pen come in handy. To make tangential notes, come up with questions, provide contact information, or any other follow-up. Speaking of follow-up, let me emphasize this point. Your feedback almost always ranks among the highest value aspects of the case competition for the students. Different case competitions hold your feedback differently, from entirely confidential, to score sheets, with or without written context, to formal feedback sessions as part of the competition, to informal feedback provided during networking after the competition. As a case competition judge, I urge you to value the guidelines and rules set forth by the case competition organizers, to make as many notes as you feasibly can for your own recollection, even if you're not sharing those notes. Fill out any assessment or evaluation rubric with as much detail as time allows. And remember to write legibly. Students won't always have access to your feedback, but when they do, that feedback seals the deal. Even 2 to 3 things that you thought each team did well, and more often, more importantly, a handful of things that the team might have done differently or considered differently. That feedback can infuse into case competitions a real-life, qualified learning that rivals any other prizes the competition might offer. I'll close this section where the case competition will likely close, with Q&A. Question and answer sessions will vary, from not included at all to running several minutes long. And your roles as a judge during Q&A are the same as ever. To challenge the students to support their recommendations, to gauge teamwork and professionalism, to push back against flaws, omissions, or judgment calls that can withstand that pushing in the time allowed, but to avoid unrealistic deep dives, out-of-scope considerations, or perspectives that your years of experience brought you, but only after years of experience. Use Q&A as a teaching tool, not a litmus test. Guide the students to see as much as they can without getting blinded or bogged down by excessive specifics. Thank you again for your time and attention here, as well as for all your energy and effort throughout the competitions. You really do have an enormous impact. Congratulations on your decision to participate in a case competition. You will find that this is an extremely rewarding experience that will challenge you to think critically about real-world business issues and to develop innovative but realistic solutions that leverage the diverse experiences of your case team. Without a doubt, case competitions provide a unique opportunity for you to network with and learn from others who you might otherwise not have had the chance to work with, as well as an opportunity for you to apply your knowledge and skills in simulated but a realistic environment. While the pressure is intense and time is limited, winning teams will not only provide a solid solution or recommendation, they will also provide ample supporting evidence, work efficiently as a team, and convey energy and enthusiasm while presenting their ideas. Following are some general tips that will help you be successful as you tackle the case. Number 1, carefully read the case. Make sure you understand the case and what is being asked. Secondly, conduct research and analysis. Collect and synthesize data, including data from outside sources, and pressure test your ideas with each other along the way. Thirdly, use your skills. Leverage your past experiences as well as the experiences of your team members. Number 4, play your role. Frame your recommendations from the perspective of the consultant or whichever audience you are asked to represent. Think boldly. Your recommendations should be innovative and thought-provoking, realistic, but still innovative. And then focus. Do all you can to hone in on a single recommendation or a small set of interrelated recommendations, since offering too many alternatives dilutes your main point. But while creativity and bold thinking are encouraged, you should not cast too wide a net. Your recommendation should be all of the following. Reasonable. For example, a 600% return on investment may not be reasonable for your industry. Specific. For example, providing a set of options instead of a recommendation is not specific. Implementable. A recommendation to downsize a factory while doubling production without investing in new technology may not be implementable. Appropriate. Solve the problem at hand without creating new problems, unless risk mitigation strategies are also discussed. Justifiable. For example, recommending that an automotive manufacturer diversify into frozen foods may not be justifiable. The specific rules and judgment criteria will vary from competition to competition, but you can safely assume that all competitions, across nearly all disciplines or functional areas, will involve considerations of 5 key factors. The research that you students conduct in the time that you have, the analysis you do on data points collected from research or from the case write-up, the supporting points you provide or demonstrate across all aspects of your deliverables to support your recommendation, the teamwork and professionalism that you demonstrate throughout the process, the grace under pressure that you and your teammates demonstrate throughout the process, during the presentation, and in the face of rigorous but reasonable Q&A. As you may already know, the pressure and intensity of case competitions provide a real-world team experience, much like the ones that you'll find after graduation. Thus, case competitions provide an invaluable opportunity for you, while still a student, to leverage your time management skills and your interpersonal skills as you strengthen relationships, build camaraderie, overcome obstacles, and test and hone your leadership. Your team dynamics will be evidenced by the energy and enthusiasm which your team approaches the final presentation. While strategic content and effective slides are definitely important, a confident and engaging presentation delivery will stand out. As you approach your presentation, keep the following structure in mind. First, introduce your team and greet the audience, especially your judges. 2, specifically articulate your recommendation. 3, provide an agenda of the supporting points that you will discuss. 4, discuss each of your supporting points in greater detail as time allows. Then 5, wrap up smoothly, reiterating your key points that underpin your recommendations. Number 6, invite and manage questions. Thank you. Thank you for your time and for continuing to strive for excellence. As you keep these tips in mind, you will be prepared for a successful and fulfilling case competition experience. Best of luck. This video has outlined most of the essential information associated with case competitions. However, I'd like to offer a few additional resources if you'd like more information. Sometimes case competitions involve original cases written by the organizers and their partners. However, the Harvard Business School, Darden Business School at the University of Virginia, the Fanning Center at the University of Notre Dame Mendoza College of Business, and the Ivey Business School at Western University in Ontario, among some other public and private sector institutions, offer vast libraries of excellent cases for you to consider and use in your competitions. Mark Cosentino, Dr. Kara Kravitz-Capoli, and Jason Reif have written a very comprehensive volume called Case in Point, Creating Winning Strategy Presentations for Case Competitions and Job Offers, that calls out many essential details. And Bill Ellett wrote a preeminent text on the case method, the Case Study Handbook, and his accompanying student guide. And the most important details, guidelines, and emphases will come from the competition organizers. Case competitions can be anything from complex experiences with many, many moving parts to classroom exercises that bring teaching and learning together with real-world analysis and recommendations, partnering education and industry in pursuit of student excellence. Thank you again for your attention. Thanks again to triadstudios.co for their excellent video production here, and best of luck with your competition.